Alex Rayner stood on the edge of the colony's spaceport, his gaze fixed on the dark horizon where distant stars glittered like scattered diamonds. It had been 5 years since the Star Wars ended, 5 years since humanity and its allies had fought through blood and fire to secure the outer systems. Alex had survived battles that had cost thousands of lives, including some of his closest friends, but survival had brought little comfort. Every night, memories of exploding starships, screaming comrades, and alien battle cries haunted him like ghosts. He had hoped that after the war, he could finally find peace. He had taken a position as a security officer for the human colony of Kestrel Prime, a quiet outpost far from the galactic center. It was not glamorous, but it offered safety, and for Alex, safety was rare enough to cherish. That evening, the spaceport was unusually quiet. The hum of the docking bays filled the air with a low vibration, and the smell of ionized metal lingered. Alex adjusted his jacket and walked slowly toward a recently arrived cargo ship. Something about it felt different, as if the ship carried more than supplies. He barely noticed the figure approaching until a voice broke the silence. "Have you forgotten me?" Alex froze. The words were soft, calm, but they cut through him like a laser. He turned slowly, his eyes narrowing, searching for the source. Standing a few feet away was a woman he would never forget. Her armor was sleek and unlike anything human-made, and her eyes held a depth that spoke of battles survived and horrors endured. It was Lyra Vesh, the alien warrior he had fought against, the one who had saved his life during a critical battle, and then vanished without a trace. For a moment, Alex could not speak. His mind raced with disbelief. Lyra had been assumed dead. Reports of her capture had never been confirmed, and rumors of her execution had circulated among both humans and aliens. Yet here she was, standing before him, alive. Lyra," Alex finally managed, his voice rough with shock. She nodded, her expression unreadable but tinged with something familiar. "I am here, Alex. I survived, and I have returned for a reason." Alex's heart pounded. Memories of the war came flooding back. The battles in the asteroid belts, the desperate retreats, the moments when survival seemed impossible. He remembered Lyra not only as a fierce opponent, but also as the one who had unexpectedly saved his life during a skirmish near the Vesh Nebula. It was confusing then, and it was confusing now. Lyra stepped closer, her gaze steady. "During the war, I made choices that no one could understand. I protected you when it mattered most, not because I owed you, but because I saw potential in humanity. And now I need your help." Alex's mind whirled. "Why me, after all this time, after everything?" "There is a threat that neither humans nor my people can face alone," Lyra said. "A rogue faction survived the war, hiding in the shadows. They are gathering strength, and if we do not act, entire systems will fall. I cannot stop them by myself." Alex swallowed hard. The war had ended, yet here was the promise of another conflict. He had hoped to leave the fighting behind, but fate had other plans. "Why should I trust you?" Alex asked, his tone cautious. "You were my enemy once. You were part of the forces that tried to destroy my fleet." Lyra's eyes softened. "I was your enemy in the war, yes, but war does not always define who we are. I saved you because I recognized your courage and the potential of your species. Now, we must decide whether we can work together. If we fail, billions will suffer. If we succeed, we may prevent another war altogether." Alex stared at her, searching for any hint of deception. But Lyra's sincerity was undeniable. There was no trick in her eyes, no hidden malice. Just determination and a quiet hope that humanity could rise to meet the challenge. He exhaled slowly, his mind still racing. "And you expect me to join you, to fight again?" "Yes," Lyra replied simply. "Not as enemies, but as allies. The galaxy is on the brink, and time is short." Alex felt a mix of fear and resolve. He had hoped for peace, but he had learned long ago that peace was fragile and fleeting. And somehow, against all odds, Lyra's presence reminded him of something he had almost forgotten, the human spirit, resilient and unyielding even in the darkest hours. "Then show me," Alex said finally, his voice steady. "Show me this threat." Lyra nodded and activated a small device on her wrist. A holographic map projected into the air, illuminating the dock with a soft blue glow. The map displayed a cluster of star systems, each marked with symbols he did not immediately recognize. "These are the strongholds of the rogue faction," Lyra explained. "They survived the war by hiding in uncharted sectors, gathering weapons and recruiting mercenaries. They are planning an attack on human colonies, including Kestrel Prime. If we do not act, thousands will die." Alex studied the map, his mind working through strategies, risks, and possibilities. "It seems impossible to stop them with such limited forces." Lyra's expression remained calm. "That is why I need you. Your experience in the Star Wars, your knowledge of human tactics, and your ability to lead people, these are essential. Together, we can turn the odds in our favor." Alex felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He had survived the war, but survival alone was never enough. Now he had a chance to make a difference, to prevent history from repeating itself. "Very well," he said at last. "I will help you, but if we are to succeed, we must plan carefully. We cannot rely on luck." Lyra smiled faintly, a gesture that held both warmth and respect. "I expected nothing less." As they began to discuss strategies, Alex could not help but notice the subtle changes in Lyra. She had endured captivity, hardship, and battles unknown to him, yet her spirit remained unbroken. There was a quiet strength in her presence, a reminder that survival was more than just living. It was about rising above adversity, learning, and adapting. Hours passed as they worked through plans, simulations, and contingencies. Alex realized that despite their differences, they complemented each other perfectly. His human ingenuity paired with Lyra's alien tactics created a synergy neither had experienced before. Eventually, the conversation turned to the past, the battles they had fought, the choices they had made, and the losses they had endured. Lyra spoke of her capture, the years spent in isolation, and the moments she had doubted whether she would ever see freedom again. Alex shared memories of his comrades, the pain of losing friends, and the nights he had spent questioning the purpose of war. Through these exchanges, an unspoken bond began to form. It was not friendship, not yet, but a mutual understanding rooted in shared experience and respect. Both recognized the courage and resilience in the other, and both knew that the future of the galaxy might depend on their cooperation. As the colony lights dimmed and stars sparkled in the distance, Lyra paused. "There is one more thing," she said, her voice softening. "During the war, I saved your life. At the time, I did not explain why. Now, I want you to understand that it was not chance or duty. It was because I believed in you. Humanity has a potential that even my people cannot ignore. I needed to ensure you survived, because the fate of many may rest on your shoulders once more." Alex felt a surge of emotion he had not expected. Relief, gratitude, and something deeper, harder to name. He had always respected Lyra as a warrior, but now he saw her as a force that transcended species, a being who understood courage, sacrifice, and the true meaning of leadership. Before he could respond, an alarm sounded across the spaceport. Red lights flashed and automated warnings filled the air. Alex and Lyra exchanged a glance, understanding instantly. The rogue faction had begun to move. Their presence was no longer theoretical, it was real and imminent. Lyra activated her wrist device again, focusing on a particular point on the holographic map. "This is their forward base. They are mobilizing now, likely unaware that we know of their location. If we act quickly, we can strike before they reach the colonies." Alex nodded, determination hardening his features. "Then we have no time to waste. Let's gather our forces and prepare." As they moved toward the docking bays to organize a strike team, Alex stole a quick glance at Lyra. Despite the years, the battles, and the hardships, she had returned, not just as a warrior, but as a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring spirit of those who refuse to give up. And in that moment, Alex realized that the question she had asked him was more than a greeting. It was a challenge, a reminder of the past, and a call to action. He had not forgotten her, not ever, and now, together, they would face whatever the galaxy had in store. As their figures disappeared into the shadows of the spaceport, heading toward uncertain battles and unknown dangers, the stars above seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging that history was about to be written once more, by humans and allies united against the darkness. The galaxy was quiet for now, but Alex knew it would not stay that way. And for the first time in years, he felt ready, not just to survive, but to fight, to lead, and to protect those who could not protect themselves. And Lyra, the alien warrior back from the Star Wars, walked beside him, a living testament to the idea that even in the vastness of space, courage, trust, and determination could change everything. Alex and Lyra moved quickly through the docking bays, their footsteps echoing in the quiet corridors of the colony. The red alarms had stopped, but the sense of urgency remained. They needed a team, ships, and a plan. The rogue faction was on the move, and any delay could cost countless lives. Alex contacted his old colleagues from the Star Wars, veterans who had survived similar battles. Many were hesitant at first, trusting an alien, especially one who had once fought against humanity, was not easy. But Lyra spoke with calm authority, explaining the imminent danger and sharing the intelligence she had gathered during her years in captivity. Slowly, humans and aliens alike began to see the value in her knowledge. Within hours, a small fleet of ships was ready. Human pilots, engineers, and soldiers were paired with alien tacticians and warriors. The combination was unusual, but Alex could already see the potential. Different skills, different thinking, all working toward one goal. As the fleet prepared to leave, Lyra turned to Alex. "You must know this mission will not be easy. The rogue faction is cunning. They have traps, ambushes, and weapons that can destroy entire ships in moments. We cannot rely solely on firepower. We will need strategy, coordination, and trust." Alex nodded. "I understand. We will succeed together or we will fail together. There is no other choice." Their ships launched into the darkness, slipping through asteroid fields and moving toward the coordinates Lyra had marked. The first challenge came sooner than expected. Sensors detected rogue scouts patrolling the sector. The fleet had to maneuver quickly, weaving between asteroids and using the terrain as cover. Alex led a group of human fighters, dodging laser fire and targeting the scouts with precise shots. Lyra coordinated the alien ships, predicting enemy movements and directing fire where it would be most effective. Their teamwork was seamless, and for the first time in years, Alex felt a sense of exhilaration. Not the chaos of war, but the clarity of purpose, the feeling that their actions truly mattered. After neutralizing the scouts, the fleet reached the rogue faction's hidden base. It was a massive station, camouflaged against the backdrop of a gas giant, bristling with weapons and shields. Alex and Lyra studied it carefully. "We cannot attack directly," Lyra said. "We need a diversion, something to split their forces and create an opening." Alex considered their options. The humans could deploy decoy ships, drawing attention to one side, while Lyra and her forces infiltrated from another. It was risky, but the only chance they had. They agreed to the plan and prepared for the operation. As the diversion fleet moved into position, Alex noticed the tension in Lyra's posture. Despite her calm demeanor, he could sense her anticipation, the weight of responsibility she carried. "Are you afraid?" he asked quietly. Lyra glanced at him, her expression unreadable. "Fear is natural, courage is acting despite it. We cannot succeed without both." The diversion worked perfectly. Rogue ships moved to intercept the decoys, leaving gaps in their defenses. Lyra's team slipped through, entering the station and disabling key systems. Inside, the corridors were dark, filled with the hum of machinery and the occasional flicker of emergency lights. Alex and Lyra moved swiftly, taking out guards silently and securing critical points. Every step required precision and trust. They had only a small window before the rogue fleet realized what was happening. Finally, they reached the central command room. Lyra hacked into the main system, feeding false coordinates to the rogue leaders, causing confusion and panic. Alarms blared, and the rogue ships outside scrambled, unsure of what was happening. Alex watched the battle unfold from the command room's viewport. Human pilots and alien ships fought in perfect synchronization, exploiting every weakness Lyra had predicted. It was a display of unity and skill, a testament to what could be achieved when different species worked together. Then, chaos erupted. A rogue strike team breached the command room, attacking Alex and Lyra directly. The fight was intense. Alex dodged energy blasts and fired back with precision, while Lyra's agility and combat skills kept her almost untouchable. At one point, Alex was knocked off balance, and a blast from a rogue soldier sent him sprawling. Lyra reacted instantly, sweeping him aside and deflecting the next attack. "Stay close," she shouted, her voice steady despite the danger. Together they fought, their movements synchronized as if they had trained for this moment their entire lives. Finally, the last attacker fell and the room was silent except for the alarms. Alex breathed heavily, his heart pounding. "We did it," he said, disbelief and relief mixing in his voice. Lyra shook her head slightly. "Not yet. We need to ensure the station cannot be used again. Set charges and disable their communications. Make it unusable." They worked quickly, planting explosives and overriding systems. Outside, the fleet maintained pressure, preventing reinforcements from reaching the station. Within minutes, the base was destroyed in a controlled explosion, sending debris into the gas giant's atmosphere. As the smoke cleared, Alex looked at Lyra. Her expression was calm, but there was a hint of satisfaction in her eyes. "You did well," she said quietly. "So did you," Alex replied. He felt a strange warmth, a sense of camaraderie that went beyond their roles as warriors. They had survived the battle together, and in doing so, they had built a bond that neither time nor war could erase. The fleet returned to Kestrel Prime, carrying survivors and regrouping for the aftermath. Colonists cheered as they saw the returning ships, unaware of the danger they had been spared. Alex and Lyra stood on the bridge of the lead vessel, watching the stars. "There is still much work to be done," Lyra said. "The galaxy is vast and threats will always emerge, but for now we have bought time, and we have shown what can happen when humans and aliens trust each other." Alex nodded. "I never thought I would work with you again, let alone fight alongside you, but I'm glad we did. You reminded me why humans survive, why we keep going despite everything." Lyra's eyes softened. "And you reminded me that courage is universal. It does not belong to one species. It belongs to those willing to act when it matters most." For a moment, they simply watched the stars, feeling the quiet after the storm. There was relief, but also a shared understanding that their journey was far from over. Together, they had faced the rogue faction and emerged victorious. Together, they would face whatever challenges came next. As the colony welcomed them back, Alex realized that Lyra's return was more than a reunion. It was a reminder of resilience, trust, and the enduring human spirit. She had returned from the war, carrying knowledge, skill, and courage, and she had chosen to place that trust in him. Lyra turned to him, her expression calm but intense. "Alex, there is one thing I must say. During the war, I saved your life not out of duty or obligation. I did it because I believed in you, in humans, and now, after everything, I still believe. You and your people have a strength that even I could not have imagined." Alex felt the weight of her words. He had fought, survived, and struggled to find meaning in the chaos of war. And now, with Lyra standing beside him, he understood something he had always known deep down. Humans were extraordinary, not just in their ability to fight, but in their ability to endure, adapt, and inspire others. The stars stretched endlessly above them, silent witnesses to the battles fought and victories won. Alex and Lyra knew that more challenges would come, more wars, more threats, and perhaps more sacrifices. But for now, they had each other, and they had proven that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, courage, trust, and cooperation could turn the tide. And as they looked out over the colony, the lights of Kestrel Prime shining against the void, Alex finally answered the question that had haunted him since the moment Lyra first asked it years ago. He spoke quietly, but with certainty. "I could never forget you. Never. Not then, not now, not ever." Lyra smiled faintly, a rare expression that spoke of relief, recognition, and something deeper, an understanding that transcended species, past conflicts, and the vast emptiness of space. She reached out, placing her hand briefly on his shoulder, a silent acknowledgement of what they had survived and what they could achieve together. The galaxy was vast, uncertain, and dangerous, but Alex and Lyra had returned to it stronger, wiser, and united. They were not just survivors of the Star Wars. They were a symbol of what could happen when courage, trust, and humanity's enduring spirit met the universe head-on. The stars above twinkled in silent applause as their fleet moved back into orbit, carrying hope, resilience, and the promise of a future shaped not by fear, but by courage and determination. And in that vast, endless expanse, Alex knew one thing for certain. As long as humans could fight, adapt, and trust in each other, there was no challenge the galaxy could throw at them that they could not overcome.